First up on the show, well, there has been a decline in the number of new coronavirus cases in China. The country has confirmed 13 new cases and 11 deaths in the last 24 hours. All the deaths were confirmed in the virus's epicenter, that is the Hubei province. This comes as the number of infections continues to spike outside of China. Meanwhile, South Korea has reported 93 cases and 3 more fatalities. The total number of cases in the country now stands at 8,413, while the overall death toll is at 84. And WION's Bruce Harrison is now joining us live from Seoul for the latest on what's happening in South Korea. And Bruce, well, South Korea continues to report a drop of new cases daily, but there are growing concerns about cluster infections where you are at the moment. What exactly does that mean? And is it a sign that it's too soon to celebrate the efforts being made by the government in South Korea?
Bharavi, obviously, the world has been watching South Korea, and health experts around the globe have suggested that it was done properly here. The rapid response, the mass testing across the country to, chip away at the curve of daily infections. But yeah, I think it's too soon to say that we're out of the woods here entirely. These cluster infections, as they're called, are appearing around Seoul, the greater Seoul metro area, part of Gyeonggi province. One notable one was more than 50 confirmed cases at a church just 20 kilometers south of the capital here. And there was a couple others with several dozen confirmed cases as well. And then most alarming, last week here in the capital, more than 100 people tested positive at a call center not far from where I am right now in the city proper of Seoul. Based on Korea's response initially, I think there's a lot of hope among medical experts here as well as globally that Korea will be able to put out these fires quickly and prevent spread and further clusters. But it's hard to say. This is a city of 25 million people. And if you eliminate the testing that was done on the Shincheonji church, a church group that caused a lot of the positive tests, you're seeing actually a slight rise in confirmed cases that mirrors some other countries, including those in Europe, but right here in South Korea.
Right, absolutely. And well, local economies, Bruce, have been hit incredibly hard by the outbreak, and countries around the world are announcing emergency funds. What's it like for business in Seoul, and how is the government responding?
It's a pretty grim situation here. A lot of business owners are saying this is worse than what they experienced during the Asian financial crisis years ago. A lot of shops have temporarily closed their doors because it's just not affordable to keep them open in the short term. And Seoul City government, the Seoul Metropolitan government, has announced funding packages for small business owners and a number of other low-income individuals just to try and help prop them up temporarily. The federal government has announced a lot of funding as well, but people are here, I wouldn't say panicked, but definitely concerned that if spending doesn't resume soon, whether it's a barbecue shop or a small retailer, they may have to close their doors permanently. And we're seeing a lot of staff getting fired as well, unfortunately. A lot of people are having to let go of employees amid this downturn in the economy.
Right. And Bruce, if we can talk a little bit about China now, it's saying that it's almost recovering, and the new cases are now down to single digit. They're also hoping to open most of their corporate offices as well as manufacturing and other businesses. What are you picking up from China at this moment? There's certainly some concern still that there might be more cases that haven't been detected.
Yeah, I think the world is watching China and wondering if actually really confirmed cases do stand at 1. Yes, the Health Commission in Beijing said there was only 1 locally transmitted case on Tuesday. That's what they reported today. The other 12 cases were what they're referring to as imported cases, travelers visiting China and testing positive there. Yeah, looking at those numbers, it's an incredible improvement from when there was hundreds of confirmed cases not too long ago. We still know that China has by far the most confirmed cases and deaths because of the coronavirus. But if they are in fact tracking this disease accurately, and these numbers do reflect really what's taking place on the ground in a very massive country. It's perhaps steps the rest of the world is experiencing outbreaks like the United States and parts of Europe can look at. I'm speaking in regards to tighter lockdowns and quarantines on certain cities. If the manufacturing sector is closer to getting back on track, that's a boon for the rest of the world, considering how many parts are produced, and supply chains running through China are crucial to manufacturing globally, including right here in South Korea.
Right, absolutely, Bruce. Thanks very much indeed for joining us with the latest what's happening in South Korea and in China.